post in the comments. So can you monitor that one? Because unfortunately I started too early and it messed it all up. Hello? Do, 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 do.
So you want me to monitor this page?
Yeah, and send people to the link to the new Hangout. So it's in the comments. So if you go onto the page, yes, if you go up, underneath the video, there should be comments. You got it. So if anyone posts on there, just send them to the new one. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Do, 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 do. Hello. Do, 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 do. Yeah. I think it's frozen. Is it better now? Okay. I think it will. It's not even showing you as a viewer. Hello, is anybody there? There you go, there's a viewer now. Hello there, my name's Adam and I'm from VSO. Who do we have online? 2 viewers. Hello there, thank you for joining us. We're just waiting for a few more people to come online. There are 2 viewers at the moment. If you'd like to post a question, if you look for the dotted apps symbol on the top right hand corner, click on that and then the Q&A bubble. That should allow you to ask questions. If you can hear me, it would be great if you could post some questions. Oh, we've got one more viewer. I think that's you. Can you hear me? Hello, Amanda. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you post a question? Doing what? Okay. Can you hear me? Hello, Amanda. Hello. Hi there. I'm sorry we're having a few technical issues. My name's Adam and I work at VSO ICS. If you would like to click on the app symbol in the top right hand corner and then the Q&A function and just tell me if you can hear me loud and clear, that would be great. You can see we've got a couple of viewers online. How's the sound, Amanda? Hello there. I can see we've now got a few more viewers. So my name's Adam and I work for VSO ICS. Thank you for joining us. This is a space for you to ask any questions that you might have around the Girls Education Forum, which is on this Thursday in London. So if you click on the app tab, which should be on the top right, that will open the Q&A function and you can write questions to me there. Hello, is anyone there? If you can hear me, can you just write in the questions box by clicking on the dotted app symbol, and that should bring up the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have, or just to say hello. Otherwise, it's very lonely here on the Google Hangout. Hello there. So if anybody's there, could you please click on the Q&A function, which you will find through the dotted apps tab in the top right hand corner, and then just say hello so I can see if you can hear me. Is the sound working okay, Amanda? It's just very lagged. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief introduction for those online who maybe cannot ask any questions yet, just about the forum. You hopefully have seen the presentation that we sent out yesterday, which kind of gives some more information about your role as an ICS participant during the day. The Girls Education Forum is all about various members of governments, the private sector, civil society, charities, NGOs, and young people, influencers, change makers coming together to look at the commitments that we have made as a collective towards some of the world's kind of biggest issues, and in this case, girls' education, and to come up and commit to an action plan as a collective group of different people of how we're going to tackle girls' education in line with the Sustainable Development Goals up until 2030. So your role on the day as an ICS participant is to bring your energy and your experience of volunteering overseas or things that you might have done outside of ICS in terms of your passion for girls' education, and to bring that to event and engage in it as a delegate. So to attend the workshops, to talk to other delegates, decision makers, and share your experience, which is really valuable as an ICS volunteer. To be able to share, it's a unique thing. You've seen how girls' education might operate in countries around the world. You might have been a campaigner in the UK since you've got back, or you might have engaged with another charity. So you have been asked to attend due to your passion for girls' education issues. On the day, you will be expected to arrive by 9 o'clock, and then for the first 2 hours, we will be having a youth-focused training, which will involve giving you the skills and also the knowledge in order to engage in the proper forum, which will run throughout the rest of the day. This will include advice on how to engage in social media, how to talk to decision makers, but also look at some of the problems around girls' education, some of the barriers that young girls experiencing in terms of accessing an education, and then move on to kind of some of the solutions, which is the focus of the day moving forward. So I hope that some more people have joined us. I can see there's still 5 viewers online. So if you could please look at the app symbol in the top right hand corner, which is a selection of dots, click on that and that will open the Q&A function, which looks like a speech bubble. If anybody can hear me, can you please click on that note, and that will bring up the ability to say hello, or alternatively to ask any questions that you might have. I'll just be quiet for a 30 seconds or so where I check back to the main homepage. Please bear with me. Any comments or anything on the YouTube? Is a sound? Hello there. So if you've just joined us, thank you very much. We're having a few technical issues and a bit of a lag, but if you want to ask any questions, please click on the app function on the top right hand side of your page, and that will bring up a small window where you can type any questions or say hello, so I know you're there, which would be very nice. It's quite intimidating otherwise. But yes, it would be great to see if anyone is able to do that. In terms of any other questions you might have about the Girls Summit, I sent around a video presentation before this chat, which will hopefully have answered your questions. We have over 172 ICS return volunteers attending, including 4 in-country volunteers from various agencies that deliver ICS. There were also about 500 delegates in total from a range of different organisations, including governments, the private sector, different charities, different youth groups, which should hopefully make the event really, really great. And as we all know, kind of commitments from everyone together towards girls' education is the way that we can hopefully make sure that the energy is kept up into the United Nations General Assembly, which is in September, and also on the commitments that we've already made within the Sustainable Development Goals. Yeah, if you can. You can also write in the advice how to open it. So click on the So I've shown some items now. So some of the resources that might help you to prepare for the day. So you should be able to see a Girls Education Forum Youth Delegate Briefing, which is a video presentation, and also the Google Drive, which has a set of documents that you can look at in advance of coming on Thursday. These include the Statement of Action, which is the main document that we're hoping to get everyone who attends this forum to sign up to and to commit to. This has kind of 4 different areas or solutions that have kind of been targeted as the main areas where we can have an impact in terms of girls' education work moving forward. So these have been decided, half on the youth consultation document, which the youth consultation survey, which we sent round to all ICS participants. It was filled out by over 150 people from 72 countries, and that in part has informed this kind of statement of action, which we're hoping for everyone to sign up to during the event. The basic flow of the forum is that you will attend a youth training in the morning, which is for ICS participants. There'll be a kind of half an hour welcome and a speech from Lord Jack McDonnell. before we split you into 15 different groups, where you will then engage in an hour and 10 minutes of training around how to engage better in the rest of the day. So this will involve tips and tricks on how to network. It will have information on social media and how to engage in social media online. It will have also information on some of the outcomes and the existing barriers and problems relating to girls' education and how we can come to tackle those together. Then for the rest of the forum, there'll be a main opening at about 11 a.m. in the morning before there is a series of different spaces. So there is a set of workshops, which hopefully you've already signed up to. If not, you can still attend them on the day. There'll also be a fringe space where different charities, different organizations will be showing the best practice in relation to girls' education. So they will be able to show examples of programs which work well or campaigns ongoing in the UK. Also there'll be a cinema space where you can see kind of some films of best practice again within girls' education work. There'll also be a hot seat space where you can talk directly with decision makers. There'll be spoken word poetry, song and dance, all kinds of things, including an ICS stall. I'm very happy to say I can actually see some of these comments coming in. So welcome, Monica. Gradesall, nice to see it. I found it. Hello. I'm very excited you did. Also Bethan, very nice to see you join us. And Zainab and Rachel Garner. So do any of you guys have any questions for me about? Monica, you have a question. Okay. Monica, I get your question in a minute when I see it, which will stop me ad-libbing about the conference. So, hi, have all the organisations are meeting on Thursday met before to discuss this matter? Or is this the first time they are meeting? So, Monica, your question is, have all the organisations who are meeting on Thursday met before to discuss this matter? Or is this the first time they are meeting? So there is a range of different working groups in terms of kind of girls' education related issues. There is the Global Partnership for Education that was set up in 2002, which lots of different charities, private sector organisations and governments were part of, which was all about trying to hit the goals within the Millennium Development Goals, which were agreed, of course, in 2000 and ended in 2015. So lots of the organisations work together consistently in order to tackle girls' education issues. Also, a lot of the organisations who are there have worked together to develop the action plan along with DFID. So with that, kind of the solutions which have come out of the youth consultation have been formed in part with private sector and the NGOs and different contributors to the event. So there has already been quite a few meetings and we work together often. But the whole point of this is to kind of champion the commitments and to come up with a kind of formalized plan of how we're going to tackle girls' education moving forward. We're not about setting new commitments as such. It's more trying to get the energy amongst different partners and governments and the public to see through the commitments we've already made within the Sustainable Development Goals and also see where working together we can have most impact. So the action statement, which is within the youth delegate Google Drive, kind of sets out 4 key areas in which we think we can have an impact. So those include data, getting the data right. It also includes working particularly with marginalized girls to get better teaching focus for girls. And the other 2 are all around kind of transparency of data and things. If you'd like me to elaborate on that, I can, but I'll have a look if I can see any more questions. Done. Okay. What will happen at the fringe spaces? We'll be given the opportunity to talk to decision makers. So, Bethan, thank you for your question. So at the fringe spaces, there is a set of stalls from various partners involved in girls' education work. So we have an ICS stall there. We also have a VSO Nepal stall there. There will be private sector individuals who work on girls' education programs also exhibitioning their best work. There will also be pop-up events. So during the day, there will be spoken word, poetry, dances. There will also be a hot seat section where different decision makers will sit and answer questions from the floor during these hot seat spaces. There will also be a pitch platform where people will give pitches about their work and be open to questions. So there will be lots and lots of opportunity to talk to decision makers. Also, after the kind of closing session, the afternoon main plenary, all those decision makers will be circulating the fringe space. So as ICS volunteers, we're going to prepare you in the morning in order to go and engage with them in the afternoon and tell them about your experience on ICS or your passion about girls' education, and ask about theirs and engage with them directly. Thanks for your question, Beth, and I hope that answers it for you. Hello, Rachel. I can see you're online. Would you like to ask any questions at all? Oh, I can see one from Zainab. So I'm going to answer that now. So, hi, do you have any idea of how the workshops are going to work? Are they highly interactive or are they more lecture based? So in terms of the workshops, there are 5 during the day, which are put on by a series of different partners. So there are 2 workshops between 11:45 and 12:25, focusing on teaching girls and reaching disabled girls. These are being led by various different partners. They are supposedly very interactive, but we haven't actually been given the full breakdown of the sessions. I know that the Reaching Disabled Girls session is hosted by Baroness Werner with Leonard Cheshire Disability, Cheshire Services Uganda, and Viva Crane. And the Teaching Girls session is with CFBT, PEAS, and WSC, which are private sector individuals. I know within that session they're doing some kind of interactive classroom space. In the afternoon, we have workshop 3 is focused on technology and girls' education with Discovery Project Majango with Minister of State Nick Hurd. Workshop 4 is raising self-esteem to unlock potential, which is also hosted by Baroness Verma with CamFed, Child Hope, iGate, and Theatre for Change. And finally, workshop 5, which is about protecting girls affected by conflict and emergencies through education, will be hosted by Secretary of State for International Development Justin Greening and Save the Children UK. I expect they will be as interactive as possible, but without seeing the kind of final breakdown, because we're working with so many different partners, private sector, NGOs, also DFID, who are putting on the main event. We haven't had time to kind of look in detail at all of those sessions, but I've been advised they will be. I just don't want to promise. Yes, I think they will probably be more lecture based, but will have interactive elements, would be my best guess, Rachel. Bethan, thank you for your reply. Cool, thank you. I'm glad that answered your question. So I can see a question here from Zainab. So what exactly will be the role of ICS volunteers? Fantastic question, Zainab. So the role of ICS volunteers will be to engage in the event as any other delegate does. The reason I say that is that too often at these kind of events, sometimes youth are seen as kind of tokenistic or occupy a different space, but you will actually be engaging in the main forum as a normal delegate. So you can attend the workshops, you can ask questions, you can talk to people, you can network, you can share your experience and knowledge of girls' education, either through ICS or through other work that you do outside of ICS or other work you do in your professional life. The only thing that we are going to ask you to do as an ICS participant is to try and develop an elevator pitch during the morning session so you are prepared to engage in conversations with decision makers, and also to engage in some social media activity during the day. But the main thing is you are there as a delegate, just as a representative of a charity or a representative of a private sector company is. So we want to support you to engage in the forum, but your role is as a champion of young people, and it's really vital that young people are involved in these spaces. Like I said, too often they're kind of omitted. So we're very, very excited that such a large number, 172-ish, ICS participants are taking place, and young people from many, many other youth organisations will be there too. I hope that helped. I'm just going to ask my colleague Amanda to check, has there been any other people on the main page in terms of questions? Okay, no problem at all. So we still have about 6 viewers. I'm just going to delete some of these questions, which are, hello, I'm here. If you've got any more questions, I would love to hear them. I really recommend looking at the YouTube video of the presentation that was shared yesterday if you haven't already. My colleague will post it in the question box now, so you can copy the link. I've also shared it through the showcase function. As you can probably tell, I'm quite new to these Google Hangouts, but there is a kind of online video presentation which will help you prepare to attend the day and gives an overview of the program and highlights some of the key themes of the summit. Also within the Youth Delegate Pack, you can find a video version of that, as well as the action statement for the event, the Youth Delegate kind of briefing, and other bits and pieces in there which may be of interest, hopefully. I heard there's another question. Oh, Rachel, fantastic. So are they, I'll just select your question, Rachel. So are there going to be follow-up events where the ICS volunteers can get together and talk about how to move forward after the event? So this event is all about building kind of momentum and contributions building up to the United Nations General Assembly in September. So there are a few ICS volunteers attending that event in New York. We sent out that opportunity to various people to apply for that opportunity. And I think we are sending 2 delegates in total from ICS to attend that. In terms of wider events, last year we had the Youth Summit, which was the kind of first big cross ICS agency event with DFID. And this year we had the Girls Education Forum. We're really keen to do this on a more kind of structured and focused basis moving forward, and to make sure that we do it every year. Also, we're going to send out after the event some kind of specific campaigns within girls' education, which are going forward. So Global Citizen at the moment are designing a campaign in terms of getting public support for girls' education commitments in the build up to the UNGA in September. So we'll be sharing that all with you. Also, we're looking at kind of more cross ICS agency events in the future. So whether that be kind of campaign and issue focus events like this, more networking events, or more personal development events, is something that we're very, very keen to do and we're working on. There are no specific big get-togethers after this Girls' Education Forum in terms of this issue, but fingers crossed there will be other interesting things for you to engage in. But thank you for your question, Rachel. I hope that answers it, and I really wish we had lots and lots of girls' education events coming up, because it is a really important issue. Okay, so I'm just going to select this. So I've selected the YouTube video link for the presentation. If anyone hasn't seen it, I really recommend having a ganders. It's a useful tool to kind of set out the day, and also shows some of the various program and workshop spaces, and also what to bring on the day. Can you actually ask that question? So what to bring and how to prepare for the day? Cool. So if anyone new has joined us, just to post, if you would like to ask any questions, there should be an apps symbol on the top right hand corner where you can click on, and a Q&A bubble comes up, and then you can ask any specific questions that you might have. I can see we have 5 viewers online. Does anyone else have a question? So I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can prepare. We're asking all ICS volunteers to wear their ICS t-shirts. So it'd be really lovely, no matter what agency you're from, to wear your ICS t-shirts. If you don't have one, smart casual is absolutely fine. That is no problem at all. So ICS t-shirts is the first thing. I also recommend that you bring a smartphone or a tablet if you have one. There is Wi-Fi at the venue, and it will really help you in order to engage in social media around the day. The main hashtag will be #SheWill, and we give you guidance on how to use that. Also Instagram, Snapchat, and other channels. So if you have a smartphone, bring that, definitely. Also, if you have a printed photo of your ICS placement, it would be brilliant if you could bring that to the day to include on the ICS stall in the fringe space. So our plan is to have a big washing line over the stall with closed pegs, and we have little captions as well. And then is to bring that photo, pin it up, so it's of all of the ICS agency, different work resulting focused on girls' education stuff. So you can either bring a photo which shows 1, your passion for girls' education, 2, what your placement was focused on in general for ICS, or 3, kind of something that you've done outside of ICS in relation to girls' education, or maybe your action at home or fundraising. So I can see a few more questions coming through. Brilliant. So I'm going to do this in order. So Rachel, another one from you. Would we be allowed to organise events of that nature ourselves outside of the official ICS forum, but still between ICS volunteers? I would say that it would be brilliant if you could, and by all means contact your agency, and they might have capacity to support you in doing that. Where possible, we try and link volunteers up where it's not a kind of data issue, but often there are agency specific Facebook groups and groups of volunteers who quite often organize their own events. It would be interesting, and that's a really good suggestion, and I think it is something moving forward that we're going to try and do more in terms of ICS alumni, especially between different agencies, because at the moment agencies tend to do the kind of action at home and re-engagement alumni stuff on their own, but we're looking at more kind of cross-consortium ways that we can work together, and how we can support kind of ICS volunteers from Rally, mixing with White Care International, mixing with Restless Development, and support volunteers to put on their own event. There is some budget for supporting volunteers to do their own community events, but I recommend you go through your agency contact in order to plan those and speak to us. And ad hoc, we do support people in doing their own events, but it's on a case-by-case basis at the moment. What do you mean by smart casual? Are jeans okay? Eleanor Booth, brilliant question. By smart casual, I mean preferably not jeans, not kind of quite full length skirts or dresses for girls, or long trousers. Also, I would say an ICS t-shirt is perfect, but if not, maybe just a semi-smart shirt, not really t-shirts which aren't ICS branding. But to be honest, it's a kind of thing where I would say if you were going for any kind of event, any kind of summit where there's going to be decision makers, what would you wear? So probably not a suit, but something which you feel fairly smart and able to talk to people who are decision makers in without feeling in any way uncomfortable. So I leave it up to you. You're not going to be turfed out if you dress inappropriately. It's not that kind of event, but it's more so you feel comfortable. So smart casual is the best, but probably not jeans. So another question from Eleanor. Eleanor asked, will there be an opportunity for us to share our ideas even if we have chosen to not attend a workshop concerned with that issue? So this comes in a few parts. So before the event, we sent out the youth consultation survey, which was developed by Plan UK and DFID. That was answered by over 466 respondents last time I looked at it, and has been built into the action statement and also will be shared through the youth consultation report, which you can find in the youth delegate pack on the shared Google Drive. So before the event, we had that kind of survey of young people, people from 72 different countries answered it. In terms of during the event, there will be hashtags around each of the different workshop spaces. So even if you're not able to engage directly in that workshop, you will be able to still ask questions. At the moment, because all the workshops are run by different partners, we're hoping to collate all of the feedback and all of the things which are presented within those sessions and make them available to you after the event. In terms of you being able to share your ideas, you will be able to through Twitter, through the different hashtags, also through the hashtag #SheWill, which will be monitored throughout the event. Also, I guess within the fringe space, there'd be places where you can share your ideas directly with decision makers and your ideas. In terms of the closed workshop, because they do have a limited capacity, some of them, I'm not sure if there'd be integrated ways to watch it outside of the actual room during the event. But yeah, that's something that we will look at and try and share with you and keep talking to DFID and other partners about. I'm just going to check in with my colleague. Hello, if you've just joined Hello, can you hear me? I think that should have solved it, hopefully. Is there a bit of a lag? Okay, it's picking it up through the broadcast. Can you hear me? Please post when you can hear me, if you can hear me. There we go. Working. Fantastic. Sorry about... Pardon? There's no more lag. Okay, so it seems that we solved our issues there. So if anyone has any questions, sorry about the sound and technical issues. Just to quickly summarize again about the program for the day. So youth participants, delegates are expected to arrive from 9 o'clock. We'll have a short half-an-hour welcome before you split off into 15 different groups run by facilitators from across the ICS consortium that will then help you to engage in the rest of the day. So give you some background to the key issues, give you some tips and tricks on how to engage with decision makers, and also you'll discuss kind of the problems and barriers to girls' education and some of the solutions. After that, you'll engage in the main forum with all the other delegates. So there's 500 delegates in total, apart from the ICS participants. And that will open with a kind of morning space for all the delegates together. And then there'd be various different sessions, events, spaces throughout the rest of the forum. So there'd be the workshops that you've already signed up to. There'd be a fringe space where there'd be different organizations presenting on their work and best practice related to girls' education. There'll also be a hot seat space where you can sit down with decision makers and program managers and girls' education programs and different NGOs and private sector individuals and ask them specific questions. There'd be a pitch platform where speakers will be giving small pitches on their work. All of this will then come to a head at the end of the day, where we'll have an afternoon plenary with various, the Secretary of State for International Development, Justin Greening. We will have different ministers, the Education Minister from Afghanistan. We'll also have Julia Gillard, who is the former Prime Minister of Australia, who is now the board and chair of the Global Partnership for Education, which is a collection of various NGOs and private sector individuals who come together to try and hit the target set and improve global education access, attainment, levels, quality across the world. There'll also be the CEO of Global Citizen and various other peoples. And then at the end of the day, the fringe space will reopen for a little bit before at 4 o'clock, you will have a half-an-hour closing session for the ICS volunteers in particular, where we reflect on the day and talk about next steps and how to stay involved in girls' education issues. If anybody has any questions, please post them in the Q&A section. And I'm happy to answer anything. To open that, you have to click on the app sign on the top right hand corner, which is a collection of dots in a square, and then click on the blue Q&A symbol, and that will open up the right hand side. So we've had quite a few questions so far. Somebody saying hello. Thank you very much. So in terms of what's kind of been the key focus of the event, the main overall aims as outlined by the Department for International Development, DFID, are to share learning and showcase the work, particularly around the barriers during adolescence for girls' education. So to show good examples of programs which are working, governments who are doing good work in order to improve girls' education, NGOs and different partners. The second objective is to develop a shared vision and the priority actions needed to deliver on girls' education with key stakeholders. So these key stakeholders include donors, so where we get the money from, education finance commissioners, business and private sector leaders, civil society, and you guys, young people, that will help drive the commitments already outlined in the SDGs. So it's looking at the SDGs targets, which are already under Goal 4, which is all about equitable and inclusive education, and saying where can we have most influence, what does this look like in practice, how can we work together to make sure that this is realized. The last one is about engaging the wider public, building public support for girls' education more widely, particularly young people, on development issues. So your involvement is part to be there as a delegate, but also to share wider what's going on. So I can see another question. So what will happen to the action plan that we will create? Great question, VSO, ICS, who is in the room with me. So the action plan from the day will be taken forward and committed to by different governments, private sector individuals, and within the global the Global Partnership for Education. So VSO has already signed up to it. ICS program has already signed up to it. Plan UK has already signed up to it. That will help you to, so they will take forward the action plan, and that will then be built into the United Nations General Assembly in September. So those actors will be able to come and say, this is how we are going to contribute to girls' education. This is our focus. The reason that action plan is people are choosing to focus on girls' education is they see it as a cross-cutting theme that, you know, affects poverty and so many other areas of the goals. By strengthening girls' access to education, there is so many other development outcomes and positive consequences as a result of that. So the action plan will kind of tie together commitments in the build up to September for the UNGA and focus efforts moving forward. So, do you know the answer to your next question? So, in terms of this, who can I call, text, email if I'm late or lost? I recommend talking directly to your ICS agency that you have been in contact with, who will also have the number for us at the event. Lots of the agencies are attending, the staff, so they will be able to provide information on, what to do if you're lost or late. We're also, within the participant packs on the day, share with you the key kind of contact number if anything happens during the event. So welcome if anyone new has joined us. If you want to click on the app square on the top right hand corner, that will bring up a blue Q&A question where you can ask anything you like about the Girls Education Forum, girls education. I will do my best to answer. In the meantime, for all two of us, one of which is Amanda and one who is I can't actually see, some of the partners who are there on the day. So we have the Girls Education Challenge Fund partners, which includes Acted, BRAC, CamFed, CARE, Crane, Discovery, Ericsson, iMango, IRC, Link, Opportunity International, REC, Relief International, Save the Children, VSO, and World Vision. There's also the Girls Summit partners, so that's Girls Not Brides, the Orchid Project, and the Girl Generation. And other key partners include Google Expeditions, Instagram, British Council, Brookings, Global Citizen, Chime for Change. So there was a lot of different people exhibitioning their work during the fringe spaces and during the day. This on top of private sector individuals such as PwC and other kind of groups like CFBT, PEAS, WSC. So if anyone has any questions, please click on the top right hand corner. We have about 15 minutes left of this Google Hangout. Are there any questions on the YouTube channel? Hello, if anyone's got any questions, I can see there's just you online now. At least we had some questions. Yeah. And I mean, it will be a recording so people can see it later. Hello, so we've got 2 viewers, somebody new online. If you want to ask a question, any question about Girls Education Forum, please click on the app box on the top right hand corner and you will be able to ask any questions that you might have about the day. In the build up to tomorrow as well, there is a Facebook chat happening with DFID, with Nick Hurt, taking place tomorrow at 1:15. If you would like to join this, I've just shared the link. I'll also post it on the Facebook page tomorrow. But yes, if you would like to ask any questions about girls' education particularly, you can see that link now. So does anyone have any other question at all? So we have about 17 minutes left. If anybody's got any questions for me, I'm happy to answer anything on the Girls Education Forum, any information that you might have. Online currently, there are, bear with me, I have 2 viewers. So if anybody would like to ask me a question, if you click on the apps box, which is the dotted square on the top right, which will then bring out the Q&A function, you should be able to ask a question. Did we have any on YouTube? So if you have any questions about the Girls Education Forum, you can use the Q&A function, which is the dotted, that's just you online. Oh, we have another question. That's very exciting. Monica. So Monica asks, will the focus today be more on what we are looking to achieve rather than how we are going to achieve it, or will it be a bit of both? Great question, Monica. So as I kind of said, the main focus of the forum is a bit of both. So it's about sharing best practice in terms of work which is already happening within girls' education. So this is organisations who already work in that area, and they will be coming together at the exhibition space, but also in the workshops to share what they're already doing. And then it will be looking forward. So everybody's signing up to this statement of action, which you can find in the Youth Delegate Pack in the Google Drive, which sets out 4 key areas in which we can focus our attention for girls' education. So I would say it's definitely a bit of both. Yeah, so looking at achievements and the goals, but also looking at the best practice and what we're already doing and where the successes are and championing those. Thank you for your question, Monica. You've been a very active Google Hangout person, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions? So does anybody have any other questions before me? We have about 9 minutes left. If you've just joined us, can you please click on the app symbol, which is the square on the top right-hand corner, and that will bring up a blue Q&A box where you can ask any questions you might have. If you look in the Google Drive shared space, there is a whole range of resources and videos, including a video presentation, which you can watch in advance of the summit as well to help you prepare. But if you've got any particular questions, please ask away. There is also a Google, Facebook Q&A tomorrow with Nick Hurd, who is the Secretary of State for International Development, well, the Parliamentary Under Secretary of State for International Development. And it's all about getting more girls into school and learning. And this will be live at 1:15 tomorrow on the 6th of July. And I've shared the link via the showcase. I've also posted it on some of the Facebook groups and things. So yes, that's a good chance to ask any questions directly before the event. Can't see any more questions. So if you're struggling in getting in touch with us, you can see the YouTube video link now on the top right. But we've got about 7 minutes left, so if you have any further questions, now's the time to ask them. If you click on the app symbol in the top right, which is a square with dots, that will open up the ability to ask any questions. Now we're down to one viewer. Put it in. It's come up, so it's in the showcase, and I've also shared it on the chat. Yeah, and I've shared it in some of the Facebook groups particularly as well. So Restless, and pushed it out to VSO. No, that's right. So if anyone's got any questions before we finish about the Girls Education Forum, I'm more than happy to ask them. I can see we've got a couple of viewers online. So some of the questions that we've kind of already spoken about today earlier in the conversation is about the kind of fringe spaces. So will we be given the opportunity to talk to decision makers? Yes, of course, as a delegate at the event, there'd be lots of spaces where decision makers would be sitting down and engaging in conversations, hopefully with you, but also they would be giving pitches. There is a hot seat where you can go and ask specific questions and kind of have one-on-one networking space with various decision makers. So hopefully, yes, there will be space for that. At the Fringe, there'll be various exhibitions from different partners, private sector individuals, NGOs, on the best practice and what works within girls' education work. So you can also go there, and that will be the main thrust. And there'll be lots of pop-up events. There'll be a cinema screening with videos relating to girls' education. There'd be the workshops, of course, which you've already been asked to sign up to, and various other spaces. So we've only got 5 minutes left, guys. So any more questions, please click on the app symbol in the top right-hand corner, which will bring up the Q&A option. And then you can ask me any questions directly. If you also click on the showcase, you can see all the things that I've shared during this presentation, which includes the Facebook chat tomorrow at 1:15 with Nick Hurd, Parliamentary Undersecretary for International Development, where you can ask his questions, ask him specific questions around girls' education. So, yes, any questions you have, you can join the discussion and help support efforts to make every girl's right to learn a reality. So yeah, particularly with a young person focus. So please engage in that. If you would like asking questions, if you follow the link, that will take you to the DFID Facebook group where you can post your questions in advance of tomorrow. So only 3 minutes left now until the end of the talk. So I'm going to give a brief overview for all those people who haven't been able to join us during the event. So if you have any further questions about the Girls Education Forum, I recommend you access the Google Drive document, which is called the Youth Delegate Pack. Within that, you will find a briefing for ICS delegates who are attending, which gives you the overview of the intended outcomes of the event, also a bit about your role. On the day, we expect you to arrive at the very latest by 9 a.m. And in the morning up until 11, we will have kind of youth-focused training sessions to help you engage in the rest of the event and give you a bit more of the context of girls' education and some of the outcomes that the event is trying to achieve. There will then be the main event, I guess, which will have an open plenary from 11 to 11:30, and then there will be various different spaces across the QE2 Centre that you can engage in. These include the workshops, so the 5 workshops, which are about teaching girls, reaching disabled girls, technology and girls' education, raising self-esteem, and protecting girls affected by conflict and emergencies. So those are the 5 main workshops. There'll also be a fringe space where different organisations and private sector organisations will be presenting their work of best practice around girls' education. There will then also be a hot seat space where you can sit down and ask questions directly of decision makers or different people who work on girls' education issues. There will be a ICS stall, which I recommend you all visit in the general fringe space during the day. There will also be a cinema screening, a pitch platform, so lots and lots going on where you can go and meet other delegates and share your own passions about girls' education. In terms of things to bring on the day, I really recommend you bring, firstly, a smartphone. If you have one, or a tablet, there is Wi-Fi at the venue. Then you can engage in social media, ask questions, and generally engage with the event and make sure that your networks as well are engaging. 2, bring your and wear your grey ICS t-shirt, whatever agency you're from. If you could wear that, that would be absolutely brilliant. If not, smart casual is fine. By smart casual, I mean not jeans, something that you would feel comfortable speaking to a decision maker in. But again, whatever you are comfortable in. So think about maybe not a job interview, but going to your grandmother's for dinner. So being smart, but jeans probably not. And the last thing is to bring a printed photograph of your ICS placement or a printed photograph which represents why you are passionate about girls' education, and these will be included in the ICS stall during the day, so you can post those up and we'll share them. So please also bring that. Well, that brings us to 7:30. I hope this has been useful for all of those who have taken part. Thank you for the questions, and also thank you to my co-colleague Amanda, who helped me run this. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing you on Thursday. It's going to be a great event, and it's really exciting the young people involved in a forum like this. Just a note as well, tomorrow there will be the Q&A Facebook chat with Nick Hurd, who is the Parliamentary Undersecretary at DFID. So if you would like to engage with that, there is a link which I will also share after this presentation within this event. But all the best and have a good day and safe travels to London, wherever you're traveling from, and we will see you on Thursday. Okay, all the best. Bye.